Hey guys, this week I thought it would be really cool to go further in making my dining tabletop. Up until now, you remember that little table that I spray painted that used to be teal that was for my balcony? That is what we've been eating on every day. And that's fine, it's totally worked, but I just think the time is now to like get things together, you know? I just wanna say, this is the first apartment I've ever been in where I have a proper space that's big enough to have a dining table, like a proper one. So I thought I need to take advantage. I need to have something that is proper to eat at. This table is a design that's very, very unique. I didn't come up with the design. It was inspired by one that I saw online, but I haven't seen this type of thing anywhere else. So this is just like a one-time thing. I'm even surprised that I ever saw it. It is a stunning table though. It's super asymmetric. It has 3 different sized pillar legs. It has a marble tabletop, which is what I'm gonna attempt to make today. That is also an asymmetrical shape. I am really just excited for this overall. I think that if this all comes together and if the dining table can literally be made in the way that I have in mind, it will be so cool because it will be such a unique table that I would never otherwise be able to buy at a store because I would never be willing, I guess, to spend several $1,000s, like $3,000 or $4,000 on a dining table. In last week's episode of Homemade Happy, we made the pillar legs, which was honestly, I was really impressed with myself for making that. It took me a lot of time and thought to make it. And then now for the tabletop, which is what we're gonna do in this video, it took me hours and 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 hours to think of how I was gonna do it also. The tabletop is gonna be made out of MDF. So we're actually gonna go ahead and go to U-Haul to get a U-Haul truck first, then to go to Home Depot to get the MDF sheet and the rest of the supplies, and then we'll come back and get on with making it. Let's go. U-Haul. Okay, so I've actually just taken this MDF board that I got for the tabletop and I put it on top of like my work table here just so that I could get an idea of it in the space that it's going to go. And now the next thing I'm gonna do is draw out an outline for the table shape. As I mentioned before, this is going to be an asymmetrical table, which is a little bit insane for me to think to do. It means I'm gonna have to freehand it, which, you know, should be fun. Am I a little bit concerned that the asymmetry is gonna look weird? Yes, but I love asymmetrical things. So I'm just gonna go with it, you know, and hope for the best. So I was thinking of just like freehanding out on this, but I've decided what might be smart is to take some brown paper as I have here. And I'm going to put this down and do like my little markups on this first. Like, otherwise I'm gonna have so many different draw lines and it's gonna be hard to figure out like where I'm actually intended to cut.
so smooth. How can I be? Hey, you're recording.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona.
So this is kind of my final design, and I love the asymmetry of it. It's like subtle, but it's there and it's nice. I'm going to cut this out now. This is the whole reason why I wanted to tape on kind of a template, because if I had drawn this on the actual board, it would be so hard for me to tell exactly where to cut. So I'm gonna cut it out and then retrace it on, making refinements along the way.
For all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. All in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know.
Peel off the template. Yay.
Hello, Ramona. I mistook you for a dream.
On the floor, looking up, wanting more. This is so unreal. I must have been wrong, 'cause your love is strong for him. Why would it not be? He's always there for you. I keep living alone.
Good morning. It is a beautiful sunny day outside. Like, I am in love with what it's like outside. And I realized when I woke up that I forgot to get primer. So I went and I picked up some primer and I got back, and now I can add the first coat of primer. That was so hard to lift up. We're good. Time to start. Dust. plan is I'm gonna wait for that to dry for about an hour, and then I'm gonna lightly sand it because I guess MDF absorbs moisture a lot, so when you put a primer on or anything, it will lift the fibers ever so slightly, and that's actually the purpose of the primer, because it'll seal the edges, then you can lightly sand it down, and then when you put additional coats on it, the fibers won't lift out again. I'm hoping this will just like all work out. So yeah, time to have lunch, I think.
These are so good.
Oh, I thought you were filming.
I was filming. Lunchtime is over. Now we're back to the tabletop. And it smells like chemical in here. Great. I guess the sides of MDF are more porous than the top, and as such, when you put a primer or any type of like liquid on it, the fibers will lift more so on the edges than anywhere else. So I'm going to just give the edges a little sand. I'm using 240 grit sandpaper. And this is just a light sanding, in case you were wondering. Light.
I'm looking up from my window. Sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door. You don't have to wake up yet.
So I'm back again, and now the primer is like fully dried, which is great, and the edges, which I previously sanded, are super smooth, which is what we wanted to see. So time to do the top coat. I got just like regular paint from Home Depot. Is this the professional method of painting? No. But this is the way that I do it. Absolutely. Okay, so the third coat of top coat white paint is dry, and that means I can continue on with doing the marble. You're gonna need at least one color of gray paint, and then I'm going to also like really water it down, so I need a little container of water. The last time that I did a white marble, I only actually ended up using one kind of paint, like one color, and then I just varied the shades of that one color. So I might end up doing that, or I might end up using different colors and shades of different colors. I don't know. I'm gonna decide as I go, but let's get to it.
But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken, 'cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.
So I have to be honest here. I was really liking this side. That was the side I started doing second. I'm not done it yet, but this side I hated, so I painted over it with the top coat white paint again. And I'm gonna try again. It was just looking too like muddy and painty, so I didn't like that. Round two. So I now have the main kind of focal point design on here. I think the best way to do it is definitely to apply it with a sponge. Use black, mostly and just water down the black and like blend it out so that it creates different shades of gray. And then to warm up certain sections, I did use one other color of gray, Craft Smart in the color gray. Good morning, you guys. Today is finally, at last, epoxy pour day. Ready? Assistant. So this is going to be the mixing thing. 3 cups part A, 3 cups part B. Mix for 3 minutes. You ready? How confident are you? How confident, assistant?
Very confident.
Are you ready? Okay. So as always with epoxy, there are many air bubbles that come from it. Now there's a couple different options for things that you can do to pop those air bubbles. I know that the most effective way is to use a torch. So that is what I'm going to attempt today. When I say I am scared to use a torch, it's just a small fear. But you know what? Today we're gonna get over the fear. I actually saw Mia Maples, when she did marble countertops, she used a torch with her mom, and that gave me faith. Like, if they can do it, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Let's do it. It went off? What? What just happened? So weird. Like it's scary, but it's not scary. Like it's not like actually alarming me, but when I see it, it's scary. Why is it igniting? So that torching experience was like a legitimate nightmare. We definitely got the wrong type of torch. And here I was thinking everything was going so smoothly that by the time that we got to torching, it was just gonna take us 5 more minutes. Nay. We went on torching for like probably at least an hour. Now it's been about 20 minutes, so I'm just gonna go in and quickly just scrape off the bottom. And I'm gonna keep doing that until there's no more little bubbles. Capiche? Good. And I also want to get Wendy's. I'm starving.
It's like the one before, 'cause I must be strong, 'cause this might go on for long, 'cause I was wrong, and he's always there for me.
Good morning, you guys. It has been 24 hours, so the tabletop is finally done. I can't wait to show it to you. I guess I should clean it up first. Let's go. So every time I pour epoxy, I'm like mildly concerned that there will be like epoxy all over the floor. But so far that has never happened to me. I think we are good. I'll show you a close-up. Okay, you guys, here it is. This is the marble design. It is super statementy. The light reflects off of it beautifully. It's super shiny. It has like a glass-like finish, and I am just absolutely obsessed with it. The way that the marble comes off of the side and like down the sides looks super natural, and I'm just obsessed. That's all I have to say. Okay, so I will be honest with you. My intention with this video was to fully assemble the table and have it ready to go. However, I've run out of my time allotment for this video. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna attach the base legs to the tabletop. I don't have the stuff to make the table like decorated. So I figured I would leave this video here, and next week I will hopefully figure out how to fully assemble it. I will also hopefully go buy some stuff to decorate the top of it. I did order a statement light that will hopefully arrive and that I can install. And also I hope that I will have some chairs picked out, because right now I don't have any chairs for the table. So I am so thankful that I got to do this video. This project, of any project I've ever done, was the most abstract, the most likely to fail, the most question marks along the way. And I'm so pleased with how I was able to figure it out and how I got to share that with you. So I'm so just like really excited to see this fully come together. I love you so much for joining along on this journey. I'm having so much fun doing this, and I hope that you're enjoying it as well. So I will see you next week for next week's episode. I love you so much. Bye.